Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you how you can add depth of field in an image and make this type of image where the original image was this. So let's get started. So to create depth of field in this image, we have to separate it in three parts. As you can see, this is the subject, this is the midground, this is the midground, and this is the background all the way far. So this is the background we have to blur. Now we'll create another copy of the layer. We'll select on this layer. So we'll bring an adjustment layer black and white and play with the different slider red and yellow so we can get maximum contrast between the subject and the midground and the background. When you're satisfied, just play with the red and yellow. This is perfect setting for me, I think. When you're satisfied, go to the select and focus area, and this is a good tool to select quickly the subject which is in focus. Now zoom in and check if the subject is selected properly. Check everything. Now you can play with this noise level or in focus range, but I think it's satisfactory to me. So now what we'll do, we'll just check how this is selected. The edge is not so good, so what we'll do, we'll just play with the sliders a little bit more so we can make more contrast, and then I'll go to the select and mask option. Just right click and select and mask, and take the refined edge brush and just paint over the edges to refine it. The edges on here are a bit tough to select because the background is pretty much blended with this. You don't have any contrast in color or luminosity contrast, don't have any much. So now select the layer mask and keep brushing the edges and press OK. Now we're little bit better than before. So now what we'll do, you can play with the sliders again to see if you can get much more contrast from the background. Then select and mask again, and then just brush over the edges. You can play with the different slider. You can select the background on white so you can see better. I'm just brushing over the edges with a refined edge brush so I can make as much perfect the selection as I can. You can select the selection brush and you can include the part which is deleted from the selection, and just press the alt button to minus from selection, and so on and so forth. You can keep doing things. I am showing this tutorial to show how to make the background blur, how to create a depth of field, realistic depth of field. So I am not showing much how to select any subject which is difficult to select, because I assume that you know this. But if you don't know how to select this reference edge and select and mask option, you can check different other tutorial on the internet, on YouTube. There's lots of pretty good tutorial from different Photoshop artists. So that's all. I think you can check there are smart radius on and off. This is it. So this lesson is pretty satisfactory to me. So now we'll change the name of this layer to the foreground, or you can say subject, and then make another copy of the background layer, and now we select the midground, this man, this girl, and there are two women on the other side. So we will select it with the help of quick selection tool. Just drag over the subject, there is the part which you want to select, and if you select more than anything you want to select, then just press Alt and minus it, just like this hand. As I told before, I assume that you know the selection process in Photoshop, how it is done. So I am not showing in details, just minus the part which you don't want and brush over the parts which you want to select. In this photo I want to select these two women and that boy and that girl with the camera. So this is the midground. It will be blurred but not much as the background, and the background will be totally blurred. You can use this black and white again to create contrast, so the selection will be easier. The Photoshop can understand the part which you want to select. If you show the Photoshop the contrast part of the thing, again this part is too much blurred, too much washed out, you can again change to the normal mode. Just disable the black and white layer, then select again. You can play with the setting, you know, just on the black and white, off the black and white, then change the setting in the black and white adjustment layer to create more contrast. And then this man here, also select this. This is also the part of the midground. This is tough to select, as I am selecting the whole part in this area. So what we will do, you can select different selection method, like magic wand tool, or you can just minus this part after selecting the whole part, like this. You have to play with it as you can. Now when the selection is done, I'll make it in a. Here is another woman in the background, in the back of the main subject, so we have to select it too. We should select it carefully so that the part of our main subject is not being selected. So that's it. Now we make a layer mask. As you can see, the selection is pretty rough, not so perfect, but it's okay, it will be blurred anyway. So you give the name midground. Now as you can see, we have separated the midground and the foreground. Now we will select the foreground, control click on the mask and make another copy of the background layer, and we will clear the foreground from the background. We will name it background, and we have to make sure to clear the main subject from the background. So we will go to the select, modify and expand. Make it 2 2 or 3 or 4 pixel according to your image. Just depend how big your image is. So just, and now go to edit and fill and make sure the content aware is on and press OK. Now the foreground, the main subject, will be gone from the background. Now why we did it? Because when we blur the background, the foreground which is present in the background will be also blurred, and there will be a halo around the edges of the main subject, because the main subject is in the background and it is also blurred. So that's why we removed it from the background. Now we will do the same thing with the midground. Just control click on the mask and it will select the midground and it will remove it as it did with the foreground. So selected it, we select the midground, then go to the, select and modify and expand. Maybe this time we don't need much more pixel, just 2 or 1 will work. Now go to the edit and fill and content aware and OK. Same thing, let's see what it will do. So it's quite good. It's not as much good as it should be, but it's good because it will be blurred, so you don't need to be much more perfect. So here you can see again there is some yellow line around the edge in the middle of the screen. There is the outline. Just you can mask it. Just try to play with it. Just select the mask and just remove it with black, or if you need to reveal something you use the white color. I'm just using it as it is needed. So it is some basic problem. When you blur some layer and the another layer is looking through, you have to just manage it with the help of the mask. You can paint with black to remove, and if some area is much more removed, then you have to bring it back with the white color. It's up to you how you use that mask. So I am going to first put out this part for you. So as you can see, it is done. Now you have to check everything is okay, everything is selected properly and is separated properly. Now you have to select the background layer and we will go to the blur. First of all, we will make the background layer smart object, so that later we can change the blur setting again if you want. So create the smart object and then go blur gallery and tilt shift blur. Tilt shift blur will do it will give you a point to make sure which is the sharpest part of the image, which is the focused part of the image, and then it will blur as far as you go in the image. It will blur gradually from the sharpest part to the blurriest part, as it is done in the realistic depth of field in any camera. So this is there is 2 slider. One is to change blur and another is distortion. You don't have to think of distortion. Again, here you can change the bokeh color and light bokeh. You have to select the light range, between which range the blur will okay, and then the light bokeh slider will help you make the how much bright the blur will be, the bokeh will be. You have to bring the light range near the darkest part of the slider, and then you have to play with the light bokeh slider. So you can bring some bouquet in the background, it will look nice. So and the blur should be 70-75% is good for this type of image. Just play with the different slider as you like the image. It's totally up to you how you want to look your image. Just you can take this slider also. The lower line is where the sharpest part is of the image is, and the upper line is where the blur starts to begin, and here it is. So this is the midground. Now we will blur the midground also, but it will not. We will not use the still shift. We will use the Gaussian blur, because we don't need to blur it gradually, because it will we'll think it's in the same plane. So we'll blur it. We'll give it the same amount of blur, for 5% standing and sitting there. It's I think it seems 23-25% is okay, or below 18% is good. Now it's the foreground. Now here we'll see, this is the foreground subject. Here is some hello already showing. I have to clone it, take from the background and just make sure the clone disappeared. We can use the brush tool also. Just pick the color and brush with it. Just less flow will be good. Just pick the color from the nearest available location and then just brush on it. You don't need to be much perfect, you don't need to be much careful, but just you think where the color should come from, so it looks normal, it looks okay. To just some tweaks you have to do. You have to watch the image properly, where the hello is making disturbance, and you have to take care of that. Just make sure no hello is disturbing your image, because it will be looking horrible. Just clear it as much as you can. As much time you will give to this, to making the perfect. There is some white line in the face of this girl. I'm just seeing now, so you have to change it. The color on the background not working right, so the color is in the subject layer. This is the white color in the cheek. It's in the top layer. No, so now what we'll do, we'll just have to take care this part in this layer. Just take the brush, make it a bit harder, a bit smaller, and just have to paint with white color. Okay, it's not working properly. What we'll do, you have to just delete the part. I think you have to just mask the part. So just select the mask and just brush with the black color. It will make the full flow, and with the black color just mask the part. So it's done. You see, you have to look around the picture. You have to intelligently take care of the problems that you are making. Photoshop have every option. You have to just you have to just use them. You have to just make your image perfect. So as much time you will give to your image, that much perfect it will be. You have to just keep your eyes open and keep your brains open also. No, I think it's done. It's totally, maybe if I give much more time it will be more perfect, but I think that's okay. Now what we'll do, we'll make some hair in our hair, because not every strand of hair was selected in the time of selection process, because it was too tough to select the all hair. So we'll take another layer and make a small brush, go to the make sure it is shape dynamic is on, and make it pin pressure if you use the vacuum tablet or any tablet, pin tablet, or okay, just make sure the hardness is bit much, and just paint it as you think the hair will be, so it will look natural, it will look just selected, it seems, because most of the hair was gone in the selection time. So just paint it. You can see the original layer as an reference. This is kept in layer 0, the original layer is kept in layer 0, and look how the hair is there in the original image, and just paint like this. Just take the color from the nearest hair strand and just paint as you think it will naturally go with the flow. It's totally up to you, or you can see the backup layer, the background backup layer, but I always keep in hand, so if everything goes wrong then it will come handy. Just paint as much here, don't overdo it, it will look bad then. Just like some strand here and there, like some hair will be out of the head always. And I'm working with 400%. This type of job you have to work so that when you zoom out in 100% it will look natural. Now I will erase some of the hair strand, okay, because it's not looking good. Just take a brush, a soft brush, and take the eraser and take the soft brush and just erase some of the hair strand which is not looking good, not looking natural. If you feel it, then just erase it and then brush it again. Just brush and erase, then just brush again, then erase. It's totally up to your aesthetical view how you want to do this. It's okay, I think, in my view. Now you have to do a little bit of other tweak in this image, like you can add bit contrast with different color tone. We don't need the black and white layer anymore, so you can use it. You can use this black and white layer to give some effect this image, but we will not use it. We can just delete the black and white layer, and this we can use color lookup, like just start from the end. This looks good, soft warming. This looks nice to me, and it's just giving this image an overall good tone. You can use different blending mode on this color lookup layer, the luminosity or color. Just use it what you like most. So guys, that's it. This is my tutorial. If you like it, please press the like button or dislike button. If you don't like it, please make sure to subscribe for the future videos. And if you want to ask me anything, please give me a comment. I will surely answer you. Thank you very much.